right, we're on with Mr. Murphy from MSMS, Assistant Principal, and just catching up with him and how the school closure is going for him and his family.
It's definitely,
Now,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was just going to ask. It's been a couple of years since I've seen you around the high school with the girls, and I can't really remember what grades they're in right now.
Yeah, so I have two daughters. One's in fifth grade, one's in second grade. So they're 8 and 10 years old. So they're both doing a really, it's interesting to kind of have everybody in the house and trying to achieve all the things we're trying to achieve. Where me working remotely, my wife works in another school district, so she's trying to do some things for her district as well, and doing a lot of like online classwork and PD stuff for her district. So having the remote learning kick off with our daughters this week and having both of us sort of doing our own thing has been, it's definitely something that we're having to find a schedule and get into a routine. I think that first week being out of school, we really, not that we treated it like a vacation week, but we didn't really push academics with the kids. We tried to spend as much time with them and get outside of the house and stuff like that first week. I was really personally busy that second week with a lot of meetings with teachers and administrators and trying to get the remote learning plan off the ground. And the last 2 days have been pretty busy. So, we're looking to kind of settle back down into things once we get into like a flow and whatnot. So my wife, I gotta, tip my hat to my wife, especially with the academic side of things, because the last few days have been busy for me. So she's really stepped up with getting the kids going on their remote learning plans instead of like building their schedule and structure and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I know, like from hearing from other educator parents through social media and other ways, that they're having good days and bad days. Even teachers at home trying to do this kind of work. So I think people have to be, kind to themselves and not be too hard at the end of a day if it didn't go well. And I don't know if you found any structures that are working for you. I know it's hard to get into a rhythm because it's still early for us.
Yeah, I think it's hard to find the rhythm so far. I think taking the time when you need it, or when it's, yesterday was a long day for me, sort of personally, getting everything live for today for the middle school. And then I was over at the middle school throughout the morning today, helping with getting devices to families who needed them. So when I came home, like around lunchtime today, I sort of disconnected, really put the computer away until sort of now. So I really haven't been online, haven't been doing anything work related since I got home from lunch today. We were outside a lot. So I think it's kind of finding that balance of making sure we're not in front of these devices and not on the computer all the time. And I think it'll take a while to really get everybody settled into something, but I think you do need to have some sort of structure or some sort of plan. I think I was trying to do kind of a morning up through like maybe 8 to 12 and do a lot of my work during those hours. And that worked initially, but now we're trying to, the kids are having a lot of stuff to do, and with my wife working too. So we're going to have to kind of figure it out, but I feel like it's going to be sort of a week to week thing.
Yeah. And getting settled seems like a contradiction for all of us at this point, because it's an unsettling time. So I don't know how you're helping the girls stay connected with their friends, even when they can't see them, the way they're used to seeing them, to try to keep any sense of normalcy.
Yeah, well, having things like FaceTime has been very helpful. They've been both sort of messaging and FaceTiming friends, FaceTiming relatives, things like that. But it's like something neither one of them have cell phones. They don't use social media, obviously, or anything like that. So before this, they never really used FaceTime much to connect with friends or like a messenger. Facebook actually has a Facebook Messenger app. For those who don't know, it allows kids to sort of communicate, and it's pretty well monitored by parents, and you have to approve who they're communicating with. Like when they're sending pictures from your phone, what pictures are being sent and all these, so there's a lot of parental controls, which is nice.
That's great.
So we've been, we've never really used it. We used it as a family just to share some things back and forth if we were on vacation, or if the kids had something on their iPad they wanted to share with us. But now they've built a little collection of friends, each one of them. So they've been utilizing that. So it's weird now to be like, we never really had them on social media, but now they're like, that's how they're interacting. So it is a shift there.
Yeah.
But it's tough. You know, we have a lot of young kids in our neighborhood. So they've done a great job of getting out and being on scooters and bikes every single day, even if it's like, 40 degrees out. But not being able really to, like, we've done a good job of, we think, of social distancing. Like, they haven't really been playing with kids in the neighborhood or anything like that. So, but finding those tools, and that Facebook Messenger, I will say, works pretty well. They've been doing sort of texting through the iPad and FaceTiming.
How does that work? I have Facebook and I use Facebook Messenger myself, but how does it work for the kids?
There's, I'd have to look at I think the name of the app is Messenger Kids or something
Okay.
along those lines.
Okay.
I'd have to
Great.
double check that.
No, people can look into that. It's great.
Yeah, I think it's Messenger Kids might be the name of it. But yeah, it has like all the silly things, like little filters, so they can take pictures of themselves with all the stupid hats on and the dragon faces and whatever. So they can do like silly things like that they like doing, but it's all very well monitored by the adults, which is nice.
No, that's great. It's kind of like a training ground almost before they're able to go on and do some of the other things. So I like that. That's great. I didn't know about it. What about the adults in your house? How are they doing? Keeping their balance? And I know you're working and Melissa's working.
Funny, we just had dinner. We just finished up dinner, so it was just funny. Like, sometimes we'll look at each other and we'll just be like, it'll be like that deep breath of like, okay, deep breath in, deep breath out. Like, let's not flip out right now. But there's lots of moments that are great because we're spending a lot of time together. But just like any other family, there's lots of moments where it's like, okay, everybody go to different rooms and spread out and go take 10 minutes to relax and do your own thing. But it's, the adults are doing well. We've been spending a lot of time outside, which has been nice. This time of year, we really haven't found that sort of in the past. I feel like in the summers we do a good job at, on the weekends and whatnot, getting outside. And but we've really been we've gone on hikes to various places. We've been around the fire pit. We did a little bit of a fire this afternoon out in the backyard, just hanging out and relaxing. So there's been a lot of kind of just family time like that, which has been nice.
That's great, because I remember hearing somebody talk about it and kind of makes sense. And it's hard to keep this in the front of your mind when we're going through it all. But this is really history that we're living through. And I think for the kids, hopefully, if we can try to maintain balance, and it's easy for me to say because mine are older now, but they're going to remember kind of those interactions or those special things that they were able to do with you at this time when school was closed. And they're not going to be worried about the schoolwork they didn't get done or some of the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't a hiking family by any sense of the imagination. We'd be like on walks in our neighborhood, or if we were up in Maine and doing things like that. But it was funny. My daughter Annabelle was like, we went to Mary Cummings Park like last week or the week before, and my daughter Annabelle like really enjoyed it, and she was like, I like hiking. This is my first time hiking. Hiking is really fun, and I'm like, oh my God, you're 10 and we've never taken you hiking before. This is embarrassing. But it is nice. So, I think we'll have all those types of memories. It came up at dinner tonight too, that she's a little starting to get upset thinking about it, because there are some of those sort of fifth grade events and fifth grade things that, I've been thinking a lot about our eighth graders, and the impact on them and sort of how they're emotionally dealing with things differently, I'm sure, than other people. So all those fifth graders and eighth graders and seniors and kids in college, and when they have those sort of culminating events that they feel like they could be missing out on, it's hard. So I try to think about them when I'm thinking down or getting aggravated by something. I try to think about what other people are sort of dealing with. So
yeah, no, I that loss, I mean, we all have losses through this. They may be minor ones, but my son's a senior in college and he's going to miss out on a lot of that stuff. And I can't imagine, like, nobody's ever been through something like that before, missing out on those activities like the students who are at those culminating years are this year. But yeah, hopefully we can just keep doing neat things with them so they'll remember more of the special times than what they missed out on. I don't know about you. I'm much more emotional these days when I watch these videos online and of like the neat things happening, that people are doing to make a difference for people that can't be in the same physical space. Like I saw
right. Like people like singing in the streets, or like going to nursing homes and singing happy birthday through a window or stuff like that.
Yeah, people are
So
really going above and beyond to think of other people. So I hope that mindset stays in place. Um, just one last question. Anything you're doing about connections, like with your family that you can't be with, stuff like that, friends?
yeah, I think, we're trying to, stay as close as we can in texting. We haven't done a ton. My family, that's around here, we haven't done a ton of like sort of FaceTiming or something like that. I think we've been wanting to plan one of those like weekend, Friday evening, Saturday evening, like group sort of Zoom or, one of those type of things. I actually did that with a group of close friends Saturday night. So, guys I went to high school
Oh, that's
and stuff
great.
like that with that were so close. So it was, it was pretty fun to kind of all get together and do that where we haven't really been able to, socialize with adults very much lately.
Well, everybody's home now, so
No, I know, right? It's definitely weird to be, to work in a school setting where you're around, over 100 adults and almost 800 kids every single day. To then, to not have that. So it's, I'm an attention seeker in case you haven't figured that out from our past interactions. So it is kind of tough for me to find these times and moments where I can get the spotlight put on me. So I do appreciate you offering,
yeah.
and listening to all the emails and pledges. Like I need you to get me on the interview, Patrick. I need you to get me on there. So thank you.
Well, yeah, no, I know Mr. Daly from Fox Hill wrote a nice email to me about the void he's feeling with the loss of his students. So, do you want to talk any more about that? I mean, you have that
Yeah,
interaction
I
every day.
never once thought I was going to say as an assistant principal that I'm looking forward to my next lunch duty. I think that's one of those things where it's like I would you'd be walking down the hall sometimes and just think like, oh gosh, like these next 25 minutes are going to be brutal. But I think those are one of the things that I'm truly missing the most is having that time to be able to walk around and just chat with kids and in my role, sometimes we have to have conversations with kids that aren't so great. But a lot of times the conversations we have with kids are because they're doing great things. So, I am missing both sides of those conversations and just seeing the kids. So it is definitely a void. So I have a few kind of ideas that I'm hoping to kind of do to maybe make a mock lunch or something like that. So we'll see what I can kind of pull together with that. So
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd
just
be
trying to
great.
come up with like little ideas, and so if there's any other people out there with ideas of how to make things silly for the kids and get us connected with kids, please let us know.
Yeah, definitely. And the last thing I've been asking people again, just because as the days drag on and some are better than others, and it's easy to get a negative mindset. I know I get tired at the end of the day, so I like having these calls at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Um, sources of gratitude over the last couple of weeks.
I think it's for me. It's for the people that are doing the things behind the scenes that we don't see. I think when times like this happen and we're doing something that's never been done before, at least for this area of the world with remote learning and trying to basically shift everything we've learned and done for the last 100 years in education. I'm thankful for a lot of the things that are happening behind the scenes that people don't know about. So it's very easy to be kind of critical and it'd be sports radio and to kind of complain about how things were done or what you would have done differently. Um, and I do the same thing. But I'm really thankful for all the people. I know there was teachers there today. We had teachers from our music department there today getting kids instruments, and they took time out of their kind of week and made sure that was done. We had members from our IT department, central office. We had teachers from our building running around yesterday getting devices out of iPad carts for kids who don't have devices at home. So I'm really thankful for those people that are doing the work behind the scenes that are not really, when your kids at home and when those parents are at home, because we're friends with a lot of them, and my wife and I have been texting with them, and they're home and they're aggravated about the remote learning plans and the choice boards and how the heck they're going to do all this stuff with their kids. And I hear their frustrations, but at the same time, I'm really thankful for all the people that are going above and beyond during this, because it's not easy. Because we have teachers that have, they're being the educators for their kids at home and the caretakers, and they're still trying to do meetups and all those things with their kids. So everybody who's not getting credit for the great things they're doing, I'm thankful for you.
Great. All right. Well, thanks for your time, and I'm sure I'll be checking in with you down the road.
Absolutely. Thank you. Bye, everybody.